chapter 4, verse 8 and 9. Howbeit then, when ye knew not God, and I always say, look at your neighbor and tell him that the Galatians weren't Hebrews. Ye did service unto them which by nature are no gods. But now, after that ye have known God, or rather are known of God, how turn ye again to the weak and beggarly elements, the Stoicheion, whereunto ye desire again to be in bondage? Ye observe days and months and times and years. I am afraid of you, lest I have bestowed on you labor in vain. And almost routinely, this scripture is used to attack people like us that would want to celebrate the holy days that are in the Bible. Now,
I have a buddy that loves that verse for that very reason.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's go back in our go back machine and let's look at what Brother Brockel said about this. I love it. He says another form of idolatry is when one designates something alongside of God to which he renders divine honor. Such was and is the idolatry of the heathen. He cites Romans 1:25, Galatians 4 and 8, and 1 John 5:24. He used the same scripture just as we would use it to show that this is speaking of the pagan idolatry of the Galatians. That just doesn't happen anymore. He said they formerly had their Jupiter, Saturn, Venus, and countless others who had been humans or who had been fabricated and deified by them. The papists imitate them by also worshiping angels, deceased persons, or imaginary objects, rendering them divine honors if the Pope has declared them to be holy and placed them among the number of the saints to be worshipped. And just a couple pages later, he does the same thing. He says, secondly, one may not render religious honor to anyone who is not God by nature. This is idolatry. And he quotes again Galatians 4 and 8. This is something that is inescapable, that if you worship the things of paganism, you are guilty of idolatry. Well, Deuteronomy 18, the observer of times, was abomination to God. This pagan holiday thing, it's just not a minor issue. It's a violation of the first commandment.
Well, I was reading Hodge, Systematic of Theology, on this topic, and he was saying even, when people pray to saints or they pray to Mary or any of that, that's idolatry. Or angels.
Yeah. It is. It absolutely is. And let's just pursue that just a bit here. Let's go to the book of Colossians, and it speaks to this. In Colossians chapter 2 and verse 18, let no man beguile you of your reward in a voluntary humility and worshiping of angels, intruding into those things which he hath not seen, vainly puffed up by his fleshly mind. I think there's probably never a time when there's ever been more people that are hearing from devils and they think they're hearing from God because they have swerved off of the path. Now, in this worshiping of angels, I think that probably most people that are really born again, if you'd say now it's wrong to pray to the saints and to pray to Mary, that most people get that, I think. But here's one a little more subtle. Let's talk about another angel that is becoming very popular among the TBN crowd, among the Messianic and the Hebrew movement, Metatron. And Metatron is an angel, and Metatron was created in the 1st century. And we're going to look at what John Owen says that the book of Hebrews says about Metatron. It's going to be fascinating. People today, these guys, I'm going to read a little bit out of The Kosher Pig by Itzhak Shapira. Oh, what new revelation? Now this is just old 1st century heresy. And we're going to read that the Puritans stood against this back in the 17th century. There wasn't no way that someone would come into a Puritan assembly lifting up Metatron or the Kabbalah